Just hours ago, St. Charles County officials identified the victims in a deadly helicopter crash over the Mississippi River. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. 35-year-old Nicholas Fulton and 37-year-old Michael Curry were killed in the crash. This all happened yesterday around 11 a.m. near the Melvin Price Lock and Dam. That's not far from Alton. We have team coverage tonight, speaking with aviation experts and people who knew the victims.
First, let's get out to 5 on your side's Mark Maxwell with the latest on the crash investigation. Mark.
Yeah, we're here in Alton on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River, where it looks like a sleepy riverbank, but just on the other side, the Missouri shoreline, about a mile stretch of the Mississippi shoreline is cordoned off. That's where federal investigators pick over what's left of a helicopter and the lives it carried. Their names were Nicholas Fulton of Salem, Missouri. He was 35, and Michael Curry of Ashley, Illinois. He was 37. Both of them gone in seconds. Their work was hazardous on its best day, and it was in service to safety itself. Their mission was installing those bright orange markers on the high voltage power lines that span this river. Yesterday morning, their aircraft clipped one of those wires, plunging into the barge below, erupting in flames. Our meteorologists tell us it wasn't a particularly windy day in Alton yesterday morning at the time of the crash. We were still standing by waiting to hear word just moments ago from NTSB investigators, a preliminary report they told us they might have at the end of today. If it does come, it would be well after the close of typical business hours. And today, here on the edge of this river, there's still an eerie stillness here. The river keeps its schedule, barges pass, but two families wait for what could be months before they get final answers to what happened in those critical seconds leading up to that fatal crash. Live in Alton, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
And the crash is getting attention from Missouri lawmakers in Washington. U.S. Representative Bob Onder posted on X this morning saying, quote, "Deeply saddened by the tragic helicopter crash near Alton. Our hearts go out to the families of the two victims and all impacted by this devastating loss."
Tonight, we're learning about the men who died in yesterday's crash.
Nick Fulton is from Salem, Missouri, and Michael Curry is from Ashley, Illinois. Tracy Henson spoke with a fellow helicopter pilot who flew with the Fultons.
Our hearts just broken. I mean, I was devastated.
Tom Klein, a helicopter pilot out of the Lake of the Ozarks, had called up Nick's dad to see if they could help him with a job when he learned the news.
You know, he was great on what he did. I couldn't, it floors me to what happened.
Salem, Missouri is a small community of less than 5,000 people. The helicopter community is even smaller.
The helicopter community is actually kind of small, and you know, it's a small niche everybody has.
And that's how Tom came to know Nick Fulton, who died in a helicopter crash on Thursday.
Nick specialized in, you had to be on your A game, and there was just no, very slim margin for error.
Tom says Nick was the man for the job.
He had a passion for flying the helicopter. I think his kind of gift was the power line, working around power lines. He was meticulous on how he flew.
Nicholas Fulton was 35.
It's a shame. He will definitely be missed in the helicopter world.
In Salem, Missouri, Tracy Henson, 5 on your side.
And we are working tonight to learn more about Michael Curry, the second victim in yesterday's crash.
Aviation experts around the country are beginning to weigh in on the crash as investigators work to determine what factors may have caused that helicopter to go down. 5 on your side's Holden Kerwicki joins us in studio after speaking with a former senior investigator with the NTSB.
Well, and according to former NTSB senior air safety investigator Gregory Fife, the crews involved in helicopter line work are often some of the most skilled and highly trained pilots and line technicians in the entire country. However, there are so many variables at play that it's also one of the most dangerous jobs in all of aviation. Fife told me that the first thing investigators will look at is the training of both pilots and linemen, as well as company policies, procedures, and protocols to see if that may have factored into the crash in addition to the weather conditions. Using radar data, they will also reconstruct the flight path and the movement of the chopper. Investigators will also be looking at whether there were any mechanical malfunctions that caused the helicopter to drift into the wires.
You're only moving 3 or 4 feet. Your margins of safety are very limited. And again, if the aircraft moves up or down, left or right, and you didn't command it, but some environmental factor pushed the aircraft into the wires, there's just no way for a pilot to compensate for that once the strike has happened.
At this time, the NTSB is asking for anyone who witnessed the crash or shot cell phone video of the accident to send the video and a brief statement of what you saw to witness@ntsb.gov.
And Holden, of course, we had a couple people who witnessed this yesterday. One guy in particular did get a lot of the aftermath and the smoke on his cell phone. So what is that going to do for the NTSB? How does it help them?
Well, and it really gives investigators a full picture of exactly what happened, and then they can use the data to back everything up. One important thing that Feith told me is that the goal of investigators in this case isn't to place blame, but they will use this accident as a teaching and training tool for future pilots and line techs.
Thanks, Holden. We'll continue to follow the story on air, online at KSTK.com, and on the free 5 Plus streaming app. To download the app, search KSTK in the App Store.